start right out. Hey, what happened?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dean Blundell Show. Dean Blundell is not dead, but he's not here. And we are doing the show in his stead. Also, just to open, the Ghislaine Maxwell trial still exists. And that's all we have about that. So, Ryan, over to you. And Bonzi, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys, how are you?
Bonzi coming live from the locker room light.
Yeah, oh, my God. You found a symmetrical angle. He never finds that angle. He always points it at the ceiling like it's a fan on the floor or whatever.
And he sits back here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, and it wouldn't...
Wait, sorry. Let me get the phone. Here you go. Yes.
Paying attention.
I got the Bud Light, too, to go in the, in the absence
That's
of
continuity
in his thing. Yeah, we got to keep it somewhat the same.
Did he leave you with a fridge full of beer?
It is an open
Lachlan
lock.
Seems like the guy that would leave you with a fridge full of beer. Like
he did, actually. I think it's the bridge pack that he didn't quite finish because it's not full, but it's there's about half a deck left and a couple stragglers.
Share.
My guy Positive Mike dropped off a bunch of beers yesterday, and I'm going to enjoy one on this show. This is Shake Your Nutty Maker.
Got that mango one yet?
Mike's. No, it's still fermenting. I got a bottle upstairs, and he's going to let me know when it's ready. Should be another 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. Can't wait to try that. The Bonzi
was it difficult to make the decision to just not bother with the stop drinking when you got to Edmonton?
Listen, I haven't been on a bender or anything like I was with my Arizonian friends, but I enjoyed some wine with Army Chris when you have Wagyu steak, you got to kind of have some red wine. So I did. Oh, yeah. And then Positive Mike brought over some of his fine wares, and I got to support my sponsor and have a beer on Dean's show of his wares. I'd say, listen, we're doing okay. I didn't drink yesterday, so that was cool. I worked my ass off, and I just snowblew. I don't know how you say it. Lachlan's driveway, and I already gotten shit from him. He's like, "That's the worst job I've ever seen. Worst Albertan snowplow job of my driveway."
Get you from Hungary.
Yeah, he literally was.
We've got video of Bonzi snow blowing that driveway. We should take a look.
Ooh. Whoa.
Oh, thing's a powerful little beast it was.
Yeah. Look at you skate.
Yeah, it was super icy out.
Right into the fucking wall.
Boom.
Look at you go.
Oh, you didn't let go. Like, what are you doing?
Well, you got to stop the things. You got to let them go, and then it just stops on a dime, right?
Have you ever seen a snowblower before,
that time? I think because of the wall.
So listen, I haven't used a snowblower since 2015. I've been in Costa Rica or Nicaragua for every winter, and when I was home last winter, I didn't have a snowblower anymore. I had sold it, and so I only got to shovel. So yeah, that little thing owned me today, to say the least.
Yeah. It's like icing a cake, though. It's like it's delicate. The snowblower is like you got to get a feel, and then you got to do continuous motion and the apex. Then, Bonzi, really important, when you face the length side of the driveway, you got to stop blowing because then you're just going to keep blowing it, right?
Yeah, thanks. Listen, it was my inaugural debut here in Edmonton with the snowblower. First time in 6 years. I mean, cut me a bit of slack.
I'm not a pro myself either, but I know you're not supposed to put the snow into the door of the house.
That and I'm sure his neighbor's not going to be too thrilled because I know they don't get along and stuff. And I forgot, and I was like snow blasting it right through the guy's fence into his backyard. But yeah, listen, next time, I know for next time now, I'll do a lot better job, and I'll figure out my lines, and we'll go a different way, and I'll make it look a lot nicer. And I got to go outside after the show and scrape all the snow off of his walls of his house now too. Super.
Does that weaken the cement or something, or is that why?
I don't know. It just doesn't look good. And Locke already yelled at me. He's like, "You put it all over my house and my fence. You're the worst snowblower ever."
You should write his name. Like you should cock talk with Locke or something in snow on the wall.
Yeah. Sure, Deb would love that.
Well,
man.
We'll put it on the back of the house. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I already did that too, so not to worry.
How's everything else going in in Alberta there, pal?
Yeah, well, besides being sick as a dog, I don't know if you
Hey, you
guys
sound
can
like shit.
tell. Yeah, I was pretty stuffed up. It started with a sore throat like 2 mornings ago. That sort of subsided, and now it's just like a little tickle cough here and there, and mostly just congested. Otherwise, I feel fine.
Did you do a lot of blow with Army Chris? Is that what happened?
No, I almost said I wish I did, but no, I haven't touched that nasty stuff in a long time.
Okay, good,
Just enjoyed some wine, and maybe it's just the wine sniffles or something. I don't know.
Wine sniffles, yeah, those are a thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Never heard
They
of
are
fucking
now.
wine sniffles.
Oh, you've never had the wine sniffle? I've had
No,
the
I've
wine
never had
sniffles, but it was always because of cocaine.
I've never had the St. Albert wine sniffles in my life.
No.
I have to say, Positive Mike, that's a nice beer. Shake your nutty maker.
Look at him
Delicious.
just grifting all the free plugs on Dean's show.
It's awesome, eh?
Isn't that great?
God bless him.
Positive Mike must be.
I was supposed to go to the Leafs game tonight. Leafs Oilers. Leafs are in town. I was really looking forward to that. I've never been to the Oilers arena, but being the decent human being that I am, will stay home because I am sick. And I did just get my negative COVID test back from Air Canada yesterday, or not, I guess Vancouver Airport, where I first got to Canada. So that turned out negative. So I'm pretty sure I don't have Bonzi-cron or Omicron or whatever you guys are.
Bonzi-cron. What's the plan, Bonzi?
Bonzi variant. You never know.
In what sense, bro?
What's the plan now for you? Now that you're there, like I know you've got a wedding somewhere in February. You've
in
got
BC on the island.
Parents. Like, what's the plan while you're in Alberta? Like, Locke's gone for 2 weeks, so you're gonna watch the house. But what happens after this?
We're gonna hit Army Chris's for a little bit. He wants some help on a documentary that he's making for his podcast and stuff, and so I'm happy to stick around for a bit and help him with that. I still haven't made a final decision whether I will be here for New Year's Eve or not. Locke seems to think I'm going to fall in love with it here over the next 2 weeks. And he
it looks real gorgeous out there.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure where that was coming from, but he tends to think seems to think I'm gonna stay. He thinks I'm here for the long haul, which I can pretty much guarantee you that I'm not. I am looking forward to getting back to Ontario. Like I said, whether that's going to be New Year's Eve or sometime early in January, we're going home. We're going to Ontario. Got to see my folks. Get my car back on the road, and then we're going to take this show across Ontario for a bit. Going to come and visit you, Lindley. We're going to do some mushrooms with James up in Killaloo.
Are you coming?
I'll come and see you, bro, and do some shrooms. Why not?
Yeah, you can come. Awesome. You can stay as long as you want. I have like a big house. You can, you have your own bedroom and shit. It'll be fun. You'll have a good time if you're here because it's actually.
Yeah, no, I definitely come. I got some friends in Pembroke as well that we'll stop in and see them. And listen, we're going to do a trip in with Bonzi across Ontario for a month or so. I've got a laundry list of people that want me to come and visit. New friends, old friends, people I've never met. So, and then of course, family and friends as well on that trip. So, and then February, we're off to BC to the island to do the wedding. And then hopefully we're going skiing with Mercedes Nickel, who James just interviewed today. Folks, if you get a chance, I highly recommend you go see it.
Yeah, it was really good. Actually,
Thanks, she was really sweet. I didn't
super sweet, like just such a really just nice girl. Like listening to her stories, it was like just like a normal. You don't think it's like an Olympian, somebody that's been so well decorated and so well known.
I loved how she I loved how she's tough and and there's no doubt about that, and she's also really funny. So she's like, oh yeah, the doctor told me that I've been walking around with a bunch of broken ribs, and I just laughed in the doctor's face, and I was like, you're like a Navy SEAL. What the? But you're like a beautiful blonde girl, it's a weird juxtaposition kind of thing. And but she was really lovely. Like I got lucky, guys, to tell you the truth, because there's a couple of moments where I was like, if she doesn't laugh at this, it's going to look really bad.
Yeah, the drug one kind of went off in the weeds at first because she had no idea what the hell you were talking. She didn't even know what meth was. No. That was my favorite part.
Like, what's meth? I'm like,
what's a speedball? James is just like, oh, it's this, and this.
I don't know. I think I just mimicked a guy on meth. I think that's all I did.
So good.
From memory of seeing them in Parkdale.
Melissa, I'll come and see you in Sudbury for sure. Yeah, if you want to meet the Bonzi, we're doing a whole tour of Ontario. I'm happy to meet as many fans and see as many friends and stuff as I can whilst we're on the road. We're going to take the whole month and just travel around and have some fun. meet new people, and just like I said, have fun with it. It's gonna be great.
You can go up and see Ryan Imgren is in Sudbury as well. Actually,
is he really? Yeah,
yeah.
I'd love to see Ryan. That guy, he is. We are on completely different levels of smartness. Let me tell you.
A little bit, but that goes for all of us with Ryan.
This is true.
I understand we've got it's Tuesday, and we started a thing around here. It was the 2-minute drill with Ray Routh, our NFL blogger. Want to check out what Ray's got for us?
Certainly do.
All right,
guy's smart on his.
My name is Ray, and welcome to the 2-minute drill. Dean, your Buffalo Bills lost again. However, I'm going to defend your coach, Sean McDermott, a little bit. But let's start about that first half. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending Super Bowl champions, led by the GOAT, Tom Brady, take a 24-3 lead. Buffalo looks terrible. They don't hand the football off once in the first half. It's an NFL record, never been done before, and it looked like shit. I roasted Sean McDermott for 6 straight days heading into this game. I roasted him for 2 quarters, and then it was a completely different turn of events in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Suddenly, the Buffalo Bills were on fire. They started going after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The defense stopping Tom Brady. The offense scoring points. It was like, oh my gosh. I will say right now, Sean McDermott outcoached Bruce Arians. Tom Brady played selfish fucking football, throwing the football instead of running it when you're trying to run out the clock. I saw your tweet, Dean. I said that you said McDermott should be fired at the end of the game. I saw that it still stood even after they lost in overtime. Let me tell you something, though. Sean McDermott, I believe, saved himself off that hot seat with this game. He finally made the adjustments. That's what I've been criticizing him about, making those adjustments. He made those adjustments. I think that he's still good for 4 more games. However, if Buffalo loses out or they miss the playoffs, then McDermott's in a lot of trouble. But let me tell you something right now. Josh Allen is a fucking stud. I'm a New England Patriots fan. I hate the Buffalo Bills, but Josh Allen is the man. Even on one foot, he was moving that football around. Yeah, the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers won, but there's a lot that the Buffalo Bills can build off of in this game, and I would be really happy if I was a Bills fan, even though the results weren't exactly what you wanted. Take that from an outsider who hates your team. Now, let's talk about the Raiders disrespecting the Arrowhead logo in Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday. When are teams going to learn? I have now written 2 blogs this year alone for DeanBlundell.com talking about the stupidity of teams disrespecting other teams' logos. I talked about the Tennessee Titans doing it to the Patriots, and the Patriots beat them. I recapped to when Tennessee did it against Baltimore, and Baltimore danced all over them in the playoffs. The Raiders, for reasons I don't understand, after being blown out in Vegas against the Chiefs, decided they wanted to bring on the heat. So they go have a little meeting. They dance all over the Arrowhead logo. They get booed by the Arrowhead faithful. What happens? The Kansas City Chiefs lay a fucking 48-9 beating on the Raiders, sending them home crying. 3 turnovers in the first half that all turned into points, 21 points off of turnovers. The first play of the game, Jacobs fumbles the football, scoop and score for Kansas City. You want to talk about karma? Derek Carr, perfect pass, right in the hands of his receiver. Bobbled, Tyrann Mathieu interception. The very next possession, Hunter Renfrow, the only offensive weapon that Derek Carr has with Darren Waller out and Henry Ruggs in jail. Can't hold on to the football, fumbles the ball. Tyrann Mathieu recovers the fumble, touchdown. Raiders. And any other team, Juju Smith-Schuster, who gets fucking annihilated because of dancing on logos. Take some advice from me. Stop asking for the heat because you guys keep getting it. Speaking of those Tennessee Titans, I want to talk about Tennessee. They beat the dysfunctional Jacksonville Jaguars 20-0. I'm not going to get into everything that's happening in Jacksonville and Urban Meyer's losing his fucking mind. I wrote a blog about it on the website. Go check it out there. However, Tennessee is not a team that I would want to fuck with come playoff time. They're led by Ryan Tannehill, who's not a bad quarterback. They got Mike Vrabel, former New England Patriots, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He has brought the Patriots way to Tennessee to do the Titans way, and it's working. That defense is fucking hard to beat. They're tough. They're good. Stay away from them. They're going to get Derrick Henry back for the playoffs. They're going to get A.J. Brown off the IR in just a couple of weeks. That team is only going to get better. I'm telling you right now, the Tennessee Titans, even in the position that they are, should be seen as the Super Bowl favorite to come out of the AFC. Because when you can look this good without your 2 best offensive weapons, just imagine what they're going to look like when they're fully healthy. And finally, it was the Grey Cup on Sunday. I haven't been this excited for a Grey Cup since the Rough Riders faced the Rough Riders. Dozens of people tuned in to watch the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defeat the Hamilton Tiger Cats 33-25 in overtime. Winnipeg quarterback Zach Collaros threw the beach ball-sized football all over the field, connecting with one of his 12 pass catchers 21 times for 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The CFL season was one to remember. Teams won, teams lost, and still nobody explained to me why a summer football league was playing their championship outdoors in December.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Good for Ray. What
That
is
was
ending?
gold.
I was laughing my ass off the second he went to his phone.
I was
just
wondering,
like,
what is he doing?
Yeah.
oh, that was so funny. Well done.
Gold. Way to go,
Well
Ray.
played. Well played, Ray. But yeah, check out Ray Routh. He's on the Dean Blundell Network with his own stuff here. It's great. So if you're an NFL nut, that's for you.
Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah. What do you got, James? What are you drinking?
Apple juice.
Shocking. Dude, I wouldn't drink apple juice with booze in it. That's how much I
used to only drink
dislike
apple juice with booze in it. I used to buy
juice.
my drink, and it's, by the way, it's not like the pea-colored apple juice. It's pressed apples. Okay.
Oh,
like
pardon
It's
me.
almost like cider.
Yeah, like what is it? Flanders says if it's brown, if it's mellow and brown, you're in cider town. If it's clear and yellow, you got juice there, fella. Remember?
Well, if we're gonna
Missed
get
that
all
one.
hoity-toity,
Yeah. Oh, is it a sniffer?
Fancy pants.
That's a
I
sniffer.
heard you. This is why I brought it, because I heard you and Mike talking about snifters on your
I've
show.
only heard the expression my whole life, and I never knew what it was. And then for a second, when I used to watch Frasier, because the writing was really good on Frasier, they had those little tiny little glasses where you felt like if you could have went like this, it was like a bell.
Yeah.
Then I thought that was a snifter, and I just never
No.
looked it up. And you know
Those
what?
were-
Bullard
those
could be
were-
wrong. I bet you if I look it up right now, it's probably not
Those were
even
little
that.
sherry glasses that Frasier used to have.
Right. I know that's what they drink,
Sherry.
but yeah.
But yeah, this is a snifter, and yeah, I thought I'd bring it on.
Well, that's
Because
Well,
you only
thank
get
you.
a sniff of alcohol in that size of glass. Is that why it's a snifter?
that's it. You can
I don't know. The origins
and
must be.
you're supposed to hold it so you can warm the drink in
I
your
gotcha.
hand, so.
You were holding it delicately the other way. That almost looked like could have been disastrous real quick if you're holding
This
it like
with my big fucking sausage fingers. You're right.
Like if you twirl it like in a cocktail
There goes-
umbrella.
Yeah,
there
see
goes
you
the-
later.
So fuck you, James. You know what?
Listen,
You're a piece
Ryan,
of fucking shit.
We were going to talk about
Um,
this, but and by the way, Bonzi, you're kind of the cause of this. I don't know if you
Yeah,
heard.
you're a cocksucker, Bonzi.
Yeah.
Sorry,
is
what
there
did I
a
do?
baseball cap that should be on that head?
Yeah, because
Like,
that's
what are you
pretty
doing?
fucking blatant.
Yeah. It's just
So,
So yeah,
but-
no, I put.
But by the
booze
way,
in.
that look, you did make the background look a lot better, Bonzi.
Thank you, pal.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm not a hat wearing guy on the show anymore with the headphones and I don't know. I'll wear it on my next show for my boy.
Lachlan's so big that if you put a hat on right now and angled it up like he does, you would look like the Danny DeVito to his Arnold Schwarzenegger in Twins.
Twins.
Anybody load that picture in with a picture?
Oh,
when he's
yeah,
on that
with him
lock?
and,
I look like a Smurf, and he looks like Gargamel.
No,
I'm probably shorter than you, Bonzi.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like I'm legit 5'8". I'm not that goddamn short.
Oh,
I mean, it's kind of
5'6".
short, but
I'm
it's
2 inches shorter than you. Don't worry, it's fine.
Wow,
I walk like
all
I'm
right.
10 feet tall, but I am 5'6". Like
I even joked with
Really?
Lachlan. I might even be on my tiptoes in that picture too, oddly enough, because I was like, "Fuck, you're a big dude."
All
So
my
I'm not
friends
sure if
growing up-
Army Chris snapped the picture before or after I got on my tiptoes in that picture. Probably after, and I'm still that short.
I know that feeling. If you guys were ever to walk with me in Toronto, you'd be like, why is dude walking so fucking fast? Like I walk
Why are
like
his
the Benny
little
Hill
legs-
speed. That's how I walk in Toronto. I'm like, I'm just gotta get the fucking point A to point B. I just gotta go over here. And if I go on the fucking bike lane here, I don't have to wait for those people over there. And Dundas and Spadina, look out, the smell's gonna hit you right now. Boop, boop. Like I was that guy. I lived there for so long that I didn't want to walk and take it all in. Like I just
You
fucking
know how to
went.
weave. You
And
know
I
how to
had an
weave your mob.
advantage because everybody I grew up with was Lachlan's height. every one of my
True.
friends was
There it
6'2" to
is.
6'5", all of them. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm on my tiptoes there,
He's
to
got
be
an
honest.
entire big German head on you. Like
Yeah.
that's quite the.
And you went
difference.
for the bad boy furniture sweater in lieu of Mel Lastman's death, which I like.
Yeah, it was nice of you to
The bad
pay
boy,
homage
the
to
bad
Yeah.
boy hoodie.
Bad Boy.
Well done.
Yeah, I'm good like that.
That's really funny. Yeah, I'm the same height as Dean, and I think Dean is just a little shorter than Locke. So
See, I thought you were a short guy.
And I
No,
thought
I'm
you were a
6'3"
tall
and a
guy,
half.
James. Funny enough.
I know. It's a weird.
yeah,
I don't know.
you know who's a little shorter than I thought was our boy from Offload Delay, Brad Hopper.
Hopper,
I
really?
thought he was a tall dude. He came out with Dean and I on Saturday night. He's he's a little dude. He's like
Okay.
maybe 5'8", 5'9".
No shit.
I don't know. Yeah, he's
I don't
he's
know,
a
I
little
don't-
shorter than I. But he's stopped. Like you can tell, like, he's like that one of those solid little guys. Like you don't want to fuck with that guy.
He probably played like rugby in high school, kind of thing.
Yeah, he was a hooker or something for sure.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
For those
I don't know.
listening,
I don't know why they call it
that's
that.
not a hooker.
It's a
I don't
weird
know either.
name for a position.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Someone must have been drunk when that was.
Somebody
created.
said Lachlan's facial expression looks like he had a legendary dump.
Kind of. Oh, he's 5'10". Okay,
5'10".
Sorry,
jumping
Brad.
in there. Fuck
I wasn't.
you, I'm 5'10".
Everybody. There it is.
Oh, great.
Everybody to me is 5'4". Just so you know.
That was after. Listen, I was up at 4:30 in the morning in that picture, and that was about 7:30. So there was a few beverages had, starting at 6 a.m. at LAX, and then some parking lot bevies in Vancouver with Glassy,
looks
my
like-
producer.
That looks like somebody evening out on coke after a nightly alcohol
Yes.
binge. That's what that looks like.
That was
that's
like
just
that.
pure
That was when
adrenaline.
someone walked up to you and went, "Bonzi, you're looking a little rough. Why don't you take this fucking bump?" Okay,
Have a
and
bump.
and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm back, guys. Look at me.
I'm not throwing up. I'm good.
It's adrenaline
that
and,
guy. I'm just
and
projecting.
joy of meeting Lachlan Cross. That's what it was.
Oh, that's good. That's good though. What does your hat say?
The hip,
Yeah.
tragically hip hat.
I thought that was
Gee,
an
come
N.
on, James.
I thought there was an N. It looks like an N from here. I was like, I don't think that's
How
the
much
right
did you
hat.
smoke before
Someone
the show?
played a joke on you. No, I thought it was an N.
You
I know
bought
I'm
it on
wrong.
Canal Street. $8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Awesome.
funny. James, what about you? You had Noam Chomsky again.
No, I don't know what you're talking
yeah.
about. I don't
Yeah,
remember
you had quite the interview.
Again.
What was that? Not this week. It was last week, wasn't it?
It was the 9th, whenever that was.
Yeah, last week.
Whatever that
Yeah.
was. We're all
5 days ago.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's, yeah. Go ahead.
talk about it. Oh no! I've got
He
nothing.
was waiting
You
to
see,
be
this is the
slammed.
different thing. You got tons of love and tons of like the interview itself was great. There was a bit of a logistics and timing issue, I'm sure, but it wasn't noticeable as you made it out to be. And I thought it was and I don't like using it was spellbinding. Like he's such a like good guy to watch. Like he's so interesting, and you get lost in the shit he says, but you really
Yeah.
took it hard.
No, you know what? The thing is that I took it as an L because it was an L, and I'm not just trying to have a pity party. Like but the reason why it was an L was not necessarily because of the content that was produced, although I still think that was an L too. But was because the behind the scenes things was this. Like for months, I had been emailing him back and forth, and we had been, and I did it because I was reminding him of the time. I'm like, I was like. Because one time he corrected me, I was like, so it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. And it was whatever time of year. And he was like, actually, James, it's Eastern Standard Time until this month. And I'm like, fuck.
You don't argue with them.
Stop being so smart, you Yoda. Fuck off. Right. Like I was like, so then, and by the way, the first time when we started emailing a while, it was before the last American election. So it was like maybe a year and a half ago. So we have this like email thread. But the first time he emailed me back, it was like in 24-point font. So I was like, oh, like the letters were like that big. So I was like, okay, this is a sign. You have to be very like, because guests bail all the time, right? They like if you try to book, like for a while there, I was sending out like 10 emails a day for like 4 months or something like that. And I was booking a lot of guests, but it's a lot of work, and they often bail. And I just wanted to make sure that Chomsky of all people wouldn't bail. And he didn't, but he got the time wrong somehow, even though there was like 7 emails that I sent him. That
He
was
is
like
98
Eastern
years old.
time. It was Eastern time, 1 p.m. And he's like, see you then, or I'm all set, James, or da-da-da. And then at 12:15, I get an email, and I'm like watching Homeland. Right?
Go figure.
Because I like to unwind. So what I do is I'll prepare the night before and that morning, and then I'll unwind. And then like 45 minutes, half an hour beforehand, I'll just re-step all the, because I have notes like that I refer to for people like Chomsky. And it just went in like he emails me at 12:15. He's like, hey, well, I didn't get the invite. Are we not doing this? And I'm like, here's the invite. See you in 45 minutes. And he was like, oh, I thought it was such and such my time. And I'm like, and and I just went like this to describe Noam Chomsky, because that's how stupid this story is. But like, he just didn't get the time right. And so then literally I was like, if listen, you have to do the show, Noam. If it could cost me my job.
Yeah, that was good. That was actually really good.
He's not
We
watching
have a
this. He
clip
doesn't even
ready to roll, don't we?
What's that?
We have a clip ready to roll of you and Noam.
Yeah, I'll shut up because anyway, but hold on. But
no, I want to hear the rest of it.
The last thing I'll say before you run any clips is this: is that what happened was that I did get him on in the next 5 minutes, but I had like my notes for the show for the questions or whatever on it. I kind of knew, but it was on another laptop, and so I'm on air and I'm like, I realized during the intro, I'm like, wrong laptop. And then I was going to go get the other laptop. And then I was like, what the fuck? And then it was just, hey guys, we're starting the show early. It's 25 minutes early start. He only stayed for 20 minutes. And I thought there were so many embarrassing moments that the content was just really good in a different way, like lemonade from lemons kind of thing. Like,
no, I don't think so. I think it was still hard on yourself.
I had to freestyle the shit. I don't want to freestyle Chomsky interviews. I want to have a note in front of me to remind me of the kind of thing that I wanted. Anyway,
you had your assets loaded, so at least you had that, and that's actually in the first clip. We'll roll that.
I'll read an excerpt right now. With respect to the responsibility of intellectuals, there are still other equally disturbing questions. Intellectuals are in a position to expose the lies of governments, to analyze actions according to their causes and motives, and often hidden intentions. In the Western world, at least, they have the power that comes from political liberty, from access to information and freedom of expression. For a privileged minority, Western democracy provides the leisure, the facilities, and the training to seek the truth lying hidden behind the veil of distortion and misrepresentation, ideology, and class interest, through which the events of current history are presented to us. The responsibilities of intellectuals then are much deeper than what MacDonald, you're referring to Dwight MacDonald, calls the responsibility of people given the unique privileges that intellectuals enjoy. I read that, and the very first thought that came to mind was, that could have been written yesterday.
You can hear your asshole tightening. There, you can hear it. Just think you're doing.
You gotta let it play. You gotta let it play because he's so funny at the end. What? Just I don't know if it goes the whole way, Chris, but like,
I think we cut it before he actually said. What?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So he does this long pause, and then he's like, "Sorry." You want me to say the whole thing again? Or
he just did have a birthday, right, James? How old is he?
He's 93 now. He just turned 93 2 days before that interview, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's like, but that could just have been an internet thing. Like I'm kind of being an ageist by saying it's because he's an old kook. Like I wasn't saying that, obviously, but it was just because it went.
That's what Bonzi's saying.
It was like a Seinfeld episode for me. Because it was like, okay, I'm going to say this long thing that he wrote 55 years ago. And he's going to be impressed that maybe I'm bringing it up in a today context. So this should be a good way. If he's generous with his answer, this should be good. And he's like, I'm sorry, what? After like reading the whole thing. And like,
that was pretty good. Who wrote it?
Who wrote that? Yeah. Imagine that. Yeah. that sounded okay. Imagine he argued with it. I don't know what this person was thinking.
So you only ended up getting what, 20 minutes or half an hour with him, or
I don't even know because I haven't watched it. Like I had to watch it for clips today that's the most I've done. Like I kind of remember where they were. What's that?
Is he that busy that he can only give you 20 minutes, or did you not hear the whole story? We started late.
because he thought that we were starting at 12 when it was supposed
I
to be 1.
understand. Well, so he must have had other commitments or something, I guess.
Pills
Yeah.
and naps.
So he thought he was going to give me an hour, but from 12 to 1, whereas I thought he was going to give me 1 to 2. So because that's what I said to him 7 times. No, 7 times. No. Anyways,
he's watching right now. For sure.
I'm like mad at Noam Chomsky for some reason.
You get do you still get intimidated by him? Like, I'd be shitting bricks if I had him.
I wasn't intimidated in either interview. I was more or less, I take it on personally. So I was more or less worried about myself. I look at it like that because I don't get nervous in front of people. And so I already know that he's far smarter than me. And he has like various expertise that I can't even talk about competently. So I'd rather just serve him up a subject and let him pontificate and then serve him up another subject. I'm not going to sit there and fucking argue with Noam Chomsky. You remember that Evan Solomon interview from like 25 years ago or whatever it was, 20 years ago? And Solomon brought up Israel in the context of being a state that, has a heavy hand militarily or something like that. I don't know what it was. And Chomsky just fed him his own asshole for like 15 minutes. And I was just like, that's never going to be me ever.
Yeah.
You know?
That was good though. I thought it was great. I thought the content was great. The first year, both interviews were fantastic. And I know you're
well, thanks. That's nice to hear. This second one was good for just different reasons.
Just for content, for clips, and
laughing
at James.
There was a dog barking at one point, and usually I can make something out of those things. Instead, I was like, that sounds either like a chihuahua. Like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm like, so a dog barks, and all I hear is
or a border collie or a chihuahua, I believe.
No, and I'm like, that sounds like it could be either a chihuahua or a border terrier. No, I mean, he's
border terrier. That was
So, anyways, the geopolitical situation, James. I'm just like,
I don't have time.
Want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. But the best was the end. The best was the end of the interview, I think.
Yeah, I think we have. Well, we've got that queued up too. Let's take a look.
Right now, I'm going to have to.
Yeah, that's okay. Mr. Professor Chomsky, thank you for joining us. And I bet you any money your dog really loves Glenn.
Okay. I'll give the regards.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
That was Professor Chomsky. And once again, I'd like to just say to our audience that, we had a schedule that we wanted to adhere to, and it just didn't work out. And that's fine. Mr. Chomsky's trying to figure out how to hang up on me. I'll hang up on you. Try my best. And then I couldn't hang up on him. Because my computer was malfunctioning. I think I've been hacked, Noam. What?
You actually look concerned.
My cursor won't allow me to hang up on you. Hold on. We'll get there. What'd you do, Noam? I know. You're an asset. We already know. The greatest.
The Israeli army.
Does that whole expression ever change?
No. No, you could tell him his house is on fire.
Guys, you should see. My computer died earlier, 2 days ago, and now my cursor won't allow me to land on. There you go. He's gone.
There we go.
Yeah, perfect. Rushed interview with people that you love. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah.
Actually, I do know. I loved it.
Now you do.
It was what it was, but I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But it just that's not the way I wanted it to go. Let's put it that way.
It was great. I don't know. I think you're too hard on yourself. I think it was great.
You are. Sometimes things just don't go the way they're supposed to go, and it takes a right when you should have went left, and it ends up still being good content overall. And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
You mentioned Bullard, and is he doing anything like podcasty? Because he keeps saying things that he's on people's podcasts. He's getting signed by this podcast. He's doing this but then I never find him anywhere. Is he doing anything now or no?
Right now, Bullard is concentrating on the book, and he's doing a lot of live gigs, and he's doing a documentary. He had I think he shot a pilot for another show, so that's out of his hands. And I don't think he wants to do the podcast unless he can do it from home. Yeah, I think it's one of those things.
Yeah,
but he's doing well. He's doing really well.
He seems in good spirits. He seemed really upbeat. A lot brighter than he has been in past interviews for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
When is the book coming out, James?
Don't ask that question.
Bad
What's wrong
question to
with
ask.
You-
Sorry.
well, are you asking the publisher or are you asking me?
Well, so much you wrote it or writing it, so
The publisher would say March and I would say July.
see, it turned out to be
You
a pretty good
lazy
question.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
We have the
You know
3 up
what?
again.
It's not lazy. It's a lack of experience in writing a book for a publisher is the main thing probably. But I'm fine with it, right? I'm fine with that. But the other thing is this book is so unique in the sense that it's kind of a concept book. I don't know if we explained it right on the show, but like there are not many books that are nonfiction that are written by 2 people unless one guy's a ghostwriter. And so what we're doing is we're telling one story through 2 voices, and one voice is Bullard in his own words, and the other voice is an examination of the and all the moving pieces that created this kind of perfect storm for a guy who's kind of bombastic and whatever to get kind of all ensnared up and kind of became collateral damage to a movement that was super worthwhile and important, like Me Too. It's interesting, and I think, and a lot of times people are afraid to tell these stories, and there's all those reasons. But a story is a story.
So
We're not making political statements with this story. We're not trying to come off as like we hate woke people or anything like that. We just think that it was weird during the Me Too movement where you weren't allowed to talk about anything on the other side of the issue because I guess you can't do both. I don't know, whatever the reason was. Everyone's afraid of optics, I think. But
are you going to notice that switch in the book? Like you're going to notice the tone change between the 2 of you, do you think?
I hope so.
And when the audiobook comes out, are you both going to
That's what I was
the audio?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's more Mike's forte for sure. Like it's something that he's definitely going to be on it. We were talking about doing the audiobook in such a way where he does his chapters. In the middle, we have a conversation, and then I do mine. And then maybe he does the last chapter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
That would be interesting to see. You're right. It's a conceptual thing.
Yeah, and it's hard to judge. I don't know if it's going to do well or not. I hope I hope it goes well, because then it's kind of a new way of writing biographies as well.
It's funny. I've known Bullard for a while, and I've been tweeting at Bullard about a book before I even knew you. And then when I got to meet you, because I kept saying, "When's the book coming out, Mike?" I used to like razz him.
Was this like before or after the podcast that we did?
Before, before I even knew you were here. I didn't know anything about you. I didn't know that you were friends with him. I had no idea, but I used to razz him too. And then it was a very small world thing. So it's nice. Yeah. I'm excited for this book. I've been excited for this book since his story broke.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a tough book to get published. Like we're lucky that the publisher, and the reason why there was a lot of firsts in this. First of all, I recognize fully that this is happening because Mike Bullard is attached to it, because it's his story, because he's a big name, and because of all of that. And I wouldn't have it any other way anyways. Because what's really fun going out with him? Like in the summertime, like we were walking around downtown Sable Beach, and there was, even though COVID was happening, it was fairly like, people were obeying all their shit, but there was a fairly big crowd. But it didn't matter where we went. Every single store we went, there could be 2 people or 20 people, and someone would turn around and be like, "Hey, that's Mike Bullard." Like it happened everywhere we went.
Oh, for sure. He's so
and I
noticeable.
loved it.
Yeah.
I loved just like being along, like people watching, and like I could tell, like looking ahead, there would be like a husband and a wife, and the wife would look over, and she'd be like 40 feet away, and then she'd look over, and then she'd go like this to her husband. You know what I mean? And then
that's Mike Bullard.
And we're walking up, and I'm just like, Mike, I think the woman in the pink shirt like kind of likes you, but her husband is there. And he's like, eventually he goes, the wives always love me. And then after 5 minutes, the husband loves me too.
He's such a character out in public. He knows how to really work that notoriety.
Engage.
Yeah. He knows how to do it. I've got a really, really funny story about Bullard from almost 20 years ago when he was still married at the time. I believe that was his wife. He was at the Silver City in Mississauga watching a movie. My brother and I used to run corporate security for famous players, and we happened to be at that theater that night. And Bullard came out from the theater, and I didn't realize how he's a tall guy. He's a big dude, and he came out and he said, "Listen, boys," he goes, "I'm having a problem with these kids, and yeah, I'm not enjoying the movie very much. So I'd like to have a chat with him at the end of the movie, if you don't mind." We're like, "Whatever you say, Mr. Bullard." And we stayed around and we waited for the movie to end. We probably illegally held those kids in the theater. They were, 14, 15 years old, and told them to sit down. And Mike Bullard extorted them for money and said, "I want my ticket and my wife's ticket money back. The theater's already offered to give me my money back because you guys ruined the movie, but I don't want their money. I want your money. You ruined the fucking movie. I want your fucking money." It was brilliant. It was so well done. And he's such a like a commanding guy. Like you would just hand over your wallet to that guy and we let it happen. And at the end of it, it's like, did we just let Mike Bullard steal from kids?
That's a gangster move, eh?
It was so good.
Totally.
It was so good. But I love him. I've loved him ever since that encounter. And I'm glad he's doing well. And I'm glad he's
yeah, me too, man. Because it was like when he came on the podcast, I think it was like, was that February?
It was a while ago now.
The first time he was on Dean Blundell show. And that was like something like 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours or something. And, he's on the floor, chain smoking cigarettes with the laptop facing a sunny window, and it's all fucking weird looking stuff. And then he goes into his story of trying to take his own life, and he somehow made it funny. I might be getting the first podcast confused with the second one. I don't really remember, but but either way, like I told him on that show, I think I'm like, this is the first time someone's suicide story has been hilarious. Like
he did that. He really did. He made it such an entertaining. It wasn't his story anymore. It was our story to
yeah, exactly.
So weird.
Like it would, but I don't think that it was like how people kind of use it as a shield. The humor. I'm guilty of this all the time. Like right. If I'm in certain situations, like I will happily be self-deprecating in a way that they find funny, but maybe I'm doing it for all the wrong reasons, right? But it didn't have that vibe when he was saying it. Like it was kind of like an indication that he was sort of on his way to getting over it.
Yeah, he was coming to terms with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was quite the story. We skipped over something though. Was the end of your Chomsky interview, and I'm sorry, I totally took us off track with the Bullard thing.
Oh, that's okay.
All good.
You want to talk about this about how you vamped for 30 minutes or 35 minutes at the end of your interview and ended up crying on your own podcast?
I didn't cry. There was no.
You said you were about to.
Yeah, no, I was lying. No,
we're gonna have to check in on James hourly after this podcast.
That's right.
Well, there was a lot
check.
of emotions happening, guys. I mean, like there was the emotion of like fuck. There was that one, right? A lot of thrust behind fuck. Right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to feed fuck too much, right?
No.
And then after that, there was sort of like the nervousness of improvising, and then there was the fucking dog. And then there was the awkward, I can't hang up on Noam. Like, there was all this whatever. And then what I should have done is this. As soon as I got the hang up button, I should have went like this. Thank you for watching Blackballed. I'm going to go kill myself now and then hang up or something, right? Like making fun for the kids at least, right?
Yeah, just look at the camera. Jesus fucking
Christ.
You
did another podcast after that. At least you got right back on the horse and he killed it today.
Like
so
well, he did Bullard, and then he did.
When you're on a horse with diarrhea, guys, just make a fountain, right?
Just keep going. All right, let's roll that last clip and see how you vamped.
Dean Blundell before the show. That one of my favorite moments from a podcast that he did yesterday with Lachlan Cross and James P. White and Bonzi. was when Lachlan started to talk about a story about a homeless person, and I might get some of this wrong, but how this homeless person, and by the way, Lachlan, I was telling Dean, he told this story so beautifully that I was almost choked up. I'm almost choked up just recalling it, because first of all, Lachlan's face is very earnest. He's a beautiful man. He really is. And he was telling a story about a homeless person who, instead of some guy giving him $20, he gave him a little place to stay in his restaurant, like a room and a cot or something. And he's like, wash dishes and you can have, I think it was room and board. And I guess that was a long time ago. And now that person has a trade and has a job and has a family and has a house. And he was saying to Lachlan that he couldn't imagine himself being where he is today if it wasn't for that act of kindness, which helped him a lot more than $20. So when I think of what Chomsky's been doing for 60 years, at least 70 years, really, but let's, since the early 1960s, he is like a superhero of activism. To me, that's comedy. Like I'm watching that, and I'm like, "Where you going? Where are you going? We don't have all day, James."
I thought it was very astute and to the point, up until the point where you didn't know what to call him.
Yeah, I wanted to call him the Yoda of the left, and then I was like,
just your brain froze for a second.
I was like, if I look away and maintain the expression, then no one will think that in my mind, I'm like, fuck.
Oh, that's fucking funny. That's so good. So, well, I thought it was great. Good job. Thank you for putting it out, and thank you for letting us watch it and leaving it up, even though I'm pretty sure you were on the fence about taking it down.
I know. No, I was never ever going to take it
I
down.
thought you said you were contemplating not leaving it up.
If I said that, then it was just like a momentary thing. Deep down inside, I know I'll never take anything down. Like,
oh yeah,
it would have to be like, like a Tubin thing, like where I'm jerking off. And not even because of jerking off, but just in case they see a reflection of what it is that I'm watching. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I think of like our first podcast that we did, like when I was with Ashley, like when we first started doing this, and just how hacky and jokey it was, and like how it's developed until this. I get douche chills now if I listen to like the first like 5 or 6 episodes of this podcast of ours. But now I'm happy. I'm comfortable with where we are, but you got to start somewhere, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't want to be, what bothers me about podcasting? The volume part of it. I don't like it that like the most successful ones seem to have like, their collection of episodes is like gigantic and
quantity over quality.
Yeah. That's what it feels. Yeah. And maybe I'm just projecting my own abilities, but 5 days a week doing a podcast. If the podcast is guest driven, I don't think I could do it unless I had like a staff. Like I couldn't do that.
You brought it up earlier. Getting guests is one of the hardest things to do when you have a podcast or in a live show. It's why, and then if you do get them, like you said, James, half the time, well, I wouldn't say half the time, but a lot do bail or something comes up, and it's one of the hardest parts of doing a podcast with guests for sure.
See, what we do here, I think, is a little different because it's more of an ensemble. Even when there's no guests, we're just like a regular cast of characters of Dean Blundell and a Lachlan Cross and a couple of nobodies. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what we are, and it works. It doesn't mean we have to have a big name on every day, so that's why that 5 day a week thing works here.
Yeah,
but you're right. I don't think like if you're fucking, can you imagine fucking chasing that? Like that would be a
well, nightmare. I could because I did for a little bit, but not for my show, but for Dean's show, and it wasn't like it wasn't really like my job to do it. I was happy to do it. Like I wanted to do it. And I also wanted to see what the work would be like.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was getting half decent guests, like I was like, they were consistent. You know, I was getting the Jonathan Kay, and like I know he won't have him on again, but that Nathan Erskine Smith, and and Maxime Bernier, and like there was a line of guests that I was getting on a regular basis, and it was working out really well. And then as soon as the book deal happened, I was like, fuck, I can't do this anymore. Like I just
it's too much. Yeah,
20 hours a week.
Yeah, play can get full.
No, I think it's it's one thing that's intimidated me, and that's why we've always just kept it, Ashley and I, doing like deep dives into other shit where we don't need to talk to other people. At least we have each other to bounce it off of. Yeah. It does make it easier when you have a co-host or an ensemble of co-hosts to do it that way. But if I was just sitting here by myself talking, I'd feel like an asshole. Because who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? Like, why does anybody want to listen to me?
Yeah. Luckily, I am an asshole, and I have done a couple of those podcasts.
you have, but you know what? You've done really good ones. You're the only you're the only person that's ever posed a quasi conspiracy theory about COVID that I actually bought into and actually really stuck with me. So
we should talk about one, right?
We should talk about that one day.
And that turned out to be true. Well, we could talk about it now. How long have we been on there?
What time is it? Another hour or 3 hours?
We've only been on for 51 minutes. Come on, we can do better than that. But no, but it's a current topic, and it's not really a conspiracy anymore. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, but the real conspiracy.
You know why? Because Jon Stewart says it's not a conspiracy. So.
Well, you want to hear awkward interview that ties into that. One of the first interviews I did as a podcast for Dean. Was me interviewing General Spalding, who was like a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he was like he's a defense advisor for Trump and all that stuff. And it was February 2020, and I was interviewing him, and you can just hear the vape pen the whole time. It was an audio interview, so all you hear is like, yeah, exactly, like and then like a bomb, and then this. Right
while you were learning mic control.
Yeah, but we were talking about the lab leak. Sorry, that's kind of an interesting segue, but we were talking about the lab leak theory in February of 2020, and so he was the first person that I even heard it from, right? And so it was February. Maybe I had heard it, but in passing or something. But he was the first person I had talked to about it, and then I started looking it up that day, and I was like, okay, well, and it's right at that first step always where I'm just like, this doesn't make sense why we don't want to know. Why wouldn't we want to investigate this? And then racist, you fucking hate the Chinese, man. You fucking hate them. I know, that's why you're saying it. And it's just like, oh dear. It's the media were doing that. Like because of Trump. Because Trump is a racist and he was saying Wuhan flu and shit. Like, but so is CNN. But you're not allowed to talk about that either. What the fuck?
No.
Right? Like,
No, but even if there's truth in it, because of the way it was spun, people were out beating up Chinese people on the street or anybody that looked of Asian descent.
Yeah,
because of the shit that was being spewed. Yeah, exactly. So you're right. So everybody's afraid, I guess, at that point to look into or look further down that hole to see if there was any validity to it, right?
And the lab leak actually would have been better for the Chinese, I think, in a lot of ways, because if I'm an American citizen, I can understand a foreign government doing something nefarious. But now I'm just imagining that Chinese people, and I'm not saying this, I'm saying some Americans are saying this, that I'm imagining dirty Chinese people eating exotic animals and spreading its fucking disease because they eat exotic animals in these fucking filthy markets. Like that to
There's
me
the clip.
You know,
there's the clip for the day. Yeah, no, you're right. And because then the focus gets funneled into, at least there's a blame point. It's not an entire blanket. It's being blamed on a government or on some rogue fucking weirdo scientist, like some sort of sci-fi movie kind of thing. And this is where we're
going to find out.
I don't think so either. I don't think we'll ever find out the God's
What do you mean? All the conspiracy
because those people are probably dead that would know. What's that, Bonzi?
The conspiracy theorists already answered. They know where it came from.
Yeah, of course.
What did they say?
It came from Christine Elliott's house.
Yeah, right? Did you see that?
Oh my God.
So in case you didn't, in case people listening or watching don't know, protesters, domestic protesters, I'll give you, that's how far I'll go.
I'm not fucking saying a word.
I'm not either on that one.
Gathered outside of Chris.
You motherfucker, you have no fucking right to
Bonzi,
fucking call
fuck
them
you.
something stupid like that.
How
And
dare you,
Bonzi,
James.
take your fucking bald head and your fucking Lachlan Cross fucking background and get the fuck out of here. Jesus fucking Christ.
What are you, some
So-
sort of amazing
Anyway.
person?
Yeah. I love Bonzi. I think he's great. I'm so glad that I got to see him. And I'm glad you're starting to feel a little better than you were this morning.
Yeah, I definitely am, and hopefully I'm looking a little better too. Getting some color back, and I had a good day. You know, I went out and got some, well, not vitamin D, just freezing coldness, and covered in snow. But I had a banana today and a nice peanut butter and jam toast, one piece, and yeah, feeling better.
Should we let him in on it?
Yeah, we have to.
I don't know
now,
what the hell
because
you're
We
talking
kinda
about.
have
I'm
to.
just trying
The
roll.
replay is going to be really uncomfortable to watch.
I was gonna say, people are like, what the fuck? Why are they yelling at him?
Yeah.
So while you
We
weren't
have
here,
Fight Cam. Let's show them how Fight Cam works.
okay.
So this is how Fight Cam works. Whenever you see this,
You
fucking
fuck-
what are you, some sort of sick fucking
Look at his
old
stupid
maniac?
fucking glasses. Like, look at
Jesus
the those
fucking
$2
Christ,
fucking Shoppers Drug Mart readers he's
That's
got on
like
his stupid
Lachlan
fucking
melting on
head.
someone's
What a
phone.
fucking
What the
loser.
fuck?
Jesus fucking Christ.
James,
On-
eyebrows don't
So,
even
yeah.
match.
Fine,
Now,
Okay.
fine. Fight Cam is over.
so we came up with this while you weren't in the green room, and
Thank you.
we said we're going to go through the entire show and not tell you about it until the end.
It
I
started,
was wondering what
it
the hell
started
was
off as
going on there
cable
for a
news.
second. I'm not gonna lie. Was that James when you said in the chats earlier, or DMs, you said, "I've got a brilliant idea," and then
Oh,
you
you're gonna
failed
have to be
to
more
elaborate
specific.
on that?
You're gonna have to
Yeah,
be more
no,
specific.
James has like 8 or 9 brilliant ideas every
Oh,
day.
okay,
that
I
he
know,
tells us
it's
in the
James.
chat.
It's a lot of
so.
guys. I have hash for breakfast. That's all it is.
Speaking of
Thanks for making me
intellectual,
look
it's
stupid, by the way.
super intellectual. Let's take it down a little bit and talk about Jeopardy and the answers that you get from the intellectuals on Jeopardy. We've got. I don't even know how to open this. James, do you have any sort of opener for this? Okay.
I have an opener for this.
course
This
you do.
fooled a lot of people, and it is offensive, but not for the reason you think. It's offensive because someone saw a video that was 2 seconds longer than this, and they cut it those 2 seconds and made the context seem like we had normalized as a society the consensual sex with kids, and what it really was.
In life for 400, please.
In common law, the age of this, signaling adulthood, is presumed to be 14 in boys and 12 in girls. Tom?
What is the age of consent?
So that hits the internet, and everyone is just like, "Oh my god, is it? Is that what it is?"
That hits wrong.
Yeah,
It just does, though.
it does. It does. I mean, it's cleverly, not cleverly edited. It stopped early.
Yeah.
You know, I guess, but
Because
it
I
is
would have
kind of.
loved to have heard Buddy's response to that, because he's always a quick wit.
In life for 400, please.
In common law, the age of this, signaling adulthood, is presumed to be 14 in boys and 12 in girls. Tom?
What is the age of consent?
For the actual answer is puberty.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it was
of course
drinking age. Shit, sorry, no.
12 and 14. Yeah.
I had to look it up. I'm not lying. I was like, that's funny in a way, because we just talked about this on a couple weeks ago on the Dean Blundell show. Ryan, I think both of you guys were there when we were talking about how it looks like society has been built by pedophiles. So that is the underpinning of my thinking. So like like powerful men are pedophiles. That's sort of how I feel, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of times. And so I'm watching this Jeopardy thing. So obviously the first thing that comes into my mind is like, yeah, they said it was common law, right? English common law, yeah, where the old pedophiles always were. Yeah, probably. It's probably age of consent. So I looked it up and it was puberty. I was like, phew.
Yeah, that was. I didn't know what to say. I was like, why would your brain go there? Like,
Did
that
you
just
get it
seems-
right away, Ryan, or did you have to look it up too? Or did you?
No,
just
it's puberty.
Yeah.
I just
I
thought
didn't
about my
get it
own
this
childhood.
morning when
and-
Dean showed the clip, and I had to think about it for a minute, and we laughed about it and stuff. And then when you played it again, the first time, I was like, of course, puberty.
But age of, that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
because the
The
age
wording
of
is
consent,
a
we
little-
know that as a phrase. I don't know the age of puberty as a phrase. You know, presumed to be the age of puberty. It should be like,
Yeah, I've never
this
heard
physiological transformation.
Yeah.
You know, or something. Not like,
Yeah, I guess it
this
was kind of a
lifestyle
trip up.
experience, you know?
It was a bit of a trip up, I guess, then
Yeah.
which
Well, they
Jeopardy
got
is.
Buddy.
Like, they do that to try and.
You think his buddies still never let him live that down, or what?
Well, Alex
Remember
Trebek
that
lets
time you
him
went
live
on
it down
Jeopardy
now.
and said fucking age of consent?
Yeah,
You
Alex
loser.
Trebek
doesn't
finally.
seem to mind.
I was going to say Alex Trebek finally stopped emailing him about it. So.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he's a good Canadian.
Rookie came up with a great idea, and I think he's right because we haven't addressed this at all on the show today, and that is where the fuck is Dean? And I think we should play a round of where the fuck is Dean Blundell.
Okay.
I don't know how we're gonna do it. Maybe we'll do it with the comments. Maybe people can take wild guesses on where Dean might be.
We could do one-liners.
One-liners.
Such as, where the hell is Dean
Where's Dean
Blundell? Oh, he's in the neighborhood getting hit on by women.
I think
he's
he's
failing.
having a secret love affair at Arby's this afternoon and seeing how many beef and cheddars he can smash back.
Could be it. We did learn about his secret love that's been under wraps for the last couple of years.
Or he's on a secret date with Biebs because he's now in love with Bieber. It went from a full hate-on relationship with Biebs. He wanted to kill that kid back in the day, and now he loves him. He's buying his Bieb balls every day. He's buying all his merchandise and stuff. I think he could be out with Bieber.
I could give a hint. If people follow Dean at It's Dean Blundell on Twitter, you might have gotten a hint today at some point in time.
Are you really playing the game? Like there is an actual hint?
I know. We didn't have anything planned, but I guess we can kind of vamp a game out of this.
All right, let's invent a game out of it.
So Melissa says doctor's office.
Yeah.
Maybe
Brad Hopper says he's on the 407, cleaning up Brad's mess from Saturday, possibly.
Moving in
with.
No, that.
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you see that? I sent him a picture of a U-Haul, a GIF of a U-Haul today. I was going to make the U-Haul lesbian joke yesterday with Lou on the show, but I didn't.
Did you do it on the show?
Trevor Dunn.
Yeah. I remember that was the last time she was. I was going to do like a super callback from that show into yesterday's show, but I didn't know if it would go over so well. So.
Oh, you should have put James in a pig pen or something, and maybe that would have went over a bit better.
Look at these DJing a dance party at Christine Elliott's house.
Isn't it really?
He went to find his boyfriend in Budapest. That's right. He misses Locke.
That's awesome. Trevor Dunn with the killer one.
Yeah. He had an accident during his alone time.
Oh, man.
I'm going to say you're all right. Yeah. Every one of you is correct. He had a very busy afternoon. That's why he couldn't make it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll never let us do this again.
No. This is a pilot that happened very last minute. And
see how easy it is to feel like you took an L?
Yeah.
Right?
See?
Now everyone when we get off there is going to be like, guys, what are you talking about? That was really, really good.
I thought it was great just because we dunked on you for the entire show, James. I thought it was
pretty much. Yeah, it was
except for Bonzi with the snowblower.
Oh yeah, I did get a hit. I got hit with a bit of shrapnel early in the show.
More like a facial.
Yeah. Right in the face.
Crikey.
That's fantastic. I don't know. I think that's a good place to wrap it, boys. It's 5:00. We got a good hour in. What do you think?
It was awesome.
Thanks, guys. This was fun. Honestly,
this was a lot of fun. It was a great idea. I'm glad everybody was able to pile in, and Dean totally left us on our own and abandoned us for the day. Dean's having a Christmas lunch with a bunch of friends, which includes some pretty cool hockey players that I got to talk to via text today, which was kind of neat. So.
Nice.
That's where he actually is. And
I went to school with one of those hockey players' brothers, high school.
Yeah. Did you?
That's all I got.
Right on.
I don't know if he wants us to tell him who it was, so I'm not going to say it. So.
Joe Thornton.
He can tell us if he wants.
That's right. There you go. See, great show.
Thanks everybody.
I don't know. Should one of us try to get through? Can we get through the plugs? Because this is a sponsored show.
It is. Well,
I really want to have some of the underwear.
I don't.
The ones that we keep
in Canada.
The underwear we keep getting promised.
Yes. What the fuck?
Haven't seen.
That's why I can't. That's why I don't remember the name.
Ed's Fine Imports with
Ed's Fine Imports.
There's a glitch in the delivery.
That's right. And if you go to Ed's Fine Imports website, which is edsfineimports.com, and you enter code GITCH3, you'll get yourself a free pair.
Yeah, buy 3 get 1 free.
That's correct.
Awesome.
We also had Easy Auto Financial. If you got shitty credit, go to easyautofinancial.com for or is it .ca? Rookie. We got Rookie in the background to help us. And DMNTN.com for all of our content and creator content is that's where you'll find that.
I love all of your sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the sponsors that sponsor the show are amazing.
I really just love the
check them
underwear. Guys.
We love them. But yeah, DMNTN.com. Ed's Fine Imports, Easy Auto Financial, and I think that was
That's it.
isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it. Attaboy. This was fun, guys. Thank you so much.
It was great. We will see you guys, I'm sure, with Dean tomorrow, because God knows he'll be back here to try and clean this mess up.
I'll
Thanks
see you
for
guys
the
Thursday.
Bud Lights, Locke.
You're back Thursday. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
We'll
guys.
see
Thank
James
you,
on
Bonzi.
Thursday.
Have a good time. Okay. Don't forget, you're there to not drink at all. Okay.
That's right. Well,
And keep the snow clear.
Especially before you snow blow. And I'm not talking in code. Jesus.
He's got Bud Light margaritas. He's got no salt left for that driveway. Look at his boots. Look at this.
Those are a gift from Army Chris. I literally strapped those on right before I went out there.
You're a charity case.
Do they use sand or salt in Edmonton?
They use salt, and Locke did salt just a pathway to walk from kind of the
his
front
beer.
to the back. And he did.
He did that to get his beer from the garage to the
exactly,
to the
dude. And then the
You
rest
don't
of
get
it,
a garage. You just put it
it
outside the
literally
sliding
is-
door. That's
you can skate down Laughlin's Road on a pair of skates.
shit.
Still, yeah, it's crazy here right now.
You should call the mayor. You should start making complaints on behalf of your residents.
Oh my God! Yeah, say you're the homeowner at whatever the address is. Call
I almost gave it out on
bylaw.
the air.
Protest.
Call,
Drive down
call-
to the market in that neighborhood like that.
get signs for the lawn.
Invite over Chris Sky.
Could you imagine if I
Have
had
Chris on the next
Sky
show. That's
at
what you're
Lock's
supposed to do.
live
Have him
from
in the
Lock's house?
basement.
It's me and my buddy Chris Sky.
Have him co-host right where you're sitting. That would be
That's
hilarious.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
Fucking
Could you imagine?
All right, wasn't my idea, Lachlan. Clearly.
All right, boys. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, you bet. Take care, boys.
All right.